Hello, everyone. After the Mars Pluto Venus triple conjunction on the 19th of February, we are having the one of this year's main karmic astrological conjunctions, the Chiron North Node in Aries. And this is not a frequent one because the nodes take 18 years to travel back to their natal position, and Chiron's orbital period is about 50 years. Sometimes your Chiron return is already on at the age of 49, and sometimes only in 51, depending on which sign your Chiron is in. But around 50, you will have your Chiron return, and that is when you have to face your karmic issues, whatever you have not faced yet. And this conjunction that is occurring on the 19th in the evening, sometime at 9 o'clock something, London time, is studied with something else as well. 2 days ago, when I was talking about the Venus-Pluto conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius, I showed you a midpoint structure in which the Chiron North Node was at the midpoint of Aries and Dark Moon Lilith. And I mentioned that Dark Moon will be at the Chiron North Node conjunction 2 days later at the exact conjunction. So let's take a look at the London chart. Here it is. And I put two questions here. So it says at 21:11 obviously AM, so 9:11 PM, sorry, PM London time on February 19th. And the question I asked is, can we identify our wounds and what to do about them if we do? And are we accepting the curse? This is what the space-time moment suggests. And it is quite relevant to be able to identify our wounds. Why is it happening that we go to shrinks, we go to psychologists and psychiatrists, and they usually try to blame someone else? So their method is to have, when they think they help you, is to tell you how you were abused or misused or just mistreated when you were young by your parents, by your teachers, and this is why you are so fucked up, excuse my language. And very rarely do psychologists or shrinks tell you that you are responsible. You are only responsible for your life. And I often say to my clients when they keep commiserate around their parents that please grow up. Please grow up. Yes, of course, parents, they make mistakes. There are some very cruel parents, very abusive parents. Okay, so what? Now you are a grown up. Now you are responsible. Try to do something about it. Don't be a snowflake, really. Anyhow, so the first thing is to identify our wounds and take responsibility for them. And the other one is, in this space-time moment, is, are we accepting the curse? Because Dark Moon Lilith is on the Chiron North Node conjunction. And by the way, this 21:11 is the exact time when Chiron and the North Node are conjunct. And as you can see, Dark Moon is a little bit further already, leaving the conjunction, but still they're quite tight. In the London chart, we have Libra rising. The nodes are on the ascendant descendant. The South Node is about to rise. The Juno Black Moon Lilith conjunction is getting tighter and tighter. The Lilith Pallas Athena conjunction is still there, and the triple conjunction is also there. And the vertex, the point of no free will, is on Aries, drastically altered outward circumstances. So there's quite a heavy emphasis on things that we can't do. And of course, the triple conjunction as well as the vertex Aries are in the seventh house of open enemies. This is exactly what you see around here. There is a cardinal ground cross in the London chart with the ascendant, with the nodal axis, the midheaven IC, and Chiron, Dark Moon Lilith, and North Node. Okay, so the cardinal squares are always something bringing in some new energy. Of course, a square is something that happens every day. It gives you a constant push. It is a high impact aspect with a lot of challenges. And when you have four of them, obviously it's even more. And in this case, it is a um, there is a potential to actually utilize the karmic wounds and come out of them if you consider your future and also your past. So leave behind these past energies and concentrate on the future. To do that, you can actually look at the mystic rectangle, which is created by the midheaven and IC, and the other opposition, Hygeia opposite Juno and Black Moon Lilith. These are two strong feminine with two very different, very diverse roles. Juno is the first lady, someone who is standing behind the big guy. And Black Moon Lilith is the goddess who returns to the Garden of Eden because she has some work to do. So they are strong feminine archetypes with different goals, but now they are merging. And opposite them is Hygeia, which denotes sacred spaces and health. And this opposition creates the mystic rectangle and also the a bow tie. If you take a look at this bow tie, which is similar to a mystic rectangle, except the two oppositions are framed by karmic aspects, the quincunx and the semisextile. Here are the transcendental celestial objects. On the Chiron North Node dark moon, you have Eros, Hypatia, and Pythagoras. Eros denotes desire, physical desire. And anything that you want to initiate, anything that you want to manifest requires you to feel desire to do it. Hypatia was the last librarian of the Alexandrian library, which was burnt down to completely, and she was murdered. But she was a mathematician and a philosopher and a very interesting feminine archetype, again, a strong, independent feminine. And Pythagoras was a mystic and also a mathematician, but he had a school where very famous and rich people's sons went. And this is a story that not too many people know about because they, of course, went there to learn from the big Pythagoras, the big mathematician, and they had to take an exam at the end. And the exam was to present a thesis and to not just to present it, but also to defend it against opponents. So just like the modern age university thesis. And what they didn't know was the fact that it was not the thesis really that was important or interesting. It was how they behaved when they were ridiculed or attacked. So that is why then Pythagoras was, of course, chased away, and he was almost murdered. His house was burned down and he had to flee. So that's on Chiron. That's on Chiron North Node, and often when we have wounds are created not just by physical things, but also by psychological wounding and emotional wounding, and being ridiculed and being ashamed, so if you are shamed or ridiculed, that could be a very dark wound, obviously. On the south node, you have Shiva, which is the destroyer, who is recreating the world by destroying the old one. On Juno Black Moon, you have Antigone, Orcus Ophidas, and Alcormizar. Antigone is an asteroid, and it denotes the revolt against something that is completely unjust in the human world. It's a hubris asteroid, but not in the same sense as Icarus, for instance, because actually Antigone tries to defend the divine law against human law, and she is willing to pay her own life. Orcus is the Etruscan Pluto, the underworld god, who is the defender of or protector of hidden treasures and also the punisher of broken oaths. Aphidas is a rapist who goes to is the centaur, of course. The color coding is the same. Centaurs are always blue. Centaurs and TNOs and Kuiper belt objects. Those are describing our karmic wounds. Purple is asteroids. They describe the personal karmic level, and red are fixed stars, which are not of the not in the solar system. They are out in the universe, and they are higher dimensional worlds. So they are not part of the normal human everyday experience. So Afidas is a rapist, and it describes karmic wounds around rape. We will have another one, Nessus, very soon. So rape is actually part of this. But if you consider the Chiron in Aries energy, rape is really among them in big time. So the fact that you have two rapists in the energy pattern of the day is quite revealing. And then Alcor Mizar, which is a double star, actually two stars next to each other, in the um, Big Dipper, and it describes the point where the what do you call it? The rod of the chariot is broken, and it is linked to the cataclysm when everything got broken and our human existence got distorted, and we are very very near almost at the same energy pattern, the same moment in time. If you look around, then you see how the powers that be disrupt our world. So that is on Juno and Black Moon. And on Hygeia, there's Nessus, another rapist, but it's really more complicated in this case because Nessus, who is who has raped Deianira, who is Hercules's wife, he actually convinces her after the rape, that his semen mixed with blood is a potent miracle thing that she can utilize or use in order to assure Hercules' true love, and of course Deianira is very jealous and accepts this gift, so to speak. But the blood is poison because when Hercules sees what's happening, he is shooting an arrow and is effectively killing Nessus. And this arrow is poisoned by the blood of the Hydra, which is a deadly poison. So you have the mixture of semen, blood, and poison. And semen and blood are truly very potent magical potions, actually the most potent ones there is. But there's also a deadly poison thrown into the picture. And this is something that Deianira doesn't know. She's not aware. And when she makes a homespun thing for Hercules to wear when he's meeting the Heresies, she puts this mixture into it. And when Hercules dons this garment, the sunlight actually ignites it, and he's burning. And the problem is that he is a half god, so he's unable to die, but at the same time he has horrible wounds and horrible pain. And then Hera, the arch enemy, saves him and lifts him up into Mount Olympus. So actually you have the deadly poison, the potent magical potion, and some sort of redeeming energy as well thrown into the picture. And another factor of Nessus is the unburiedness karma, so the unburied corpse karma, when you are not being buried after death. And this occurs many times when there's a natural disaster or when there's a war. And the problem here is that if you don't know that your loved one died, you don't know how to create a rite of passage, you don't have a body to bury, and the whole process could go on for years or even decades. And if you don't allow the soul to leave the earth plane within 2 years, this soul may become earthbound. So unburiedness could be a very difficult karma indeed. And at the same time, on Hygeia, which shows what we need actually to heal, what we need to put in order, there are two beautiful bright stars, Ahernar and Anka. Anka is Alpha Phoenix, so Phoenix, it represents the bird that is reborn from its own ashes. So it's the rebirth and regeneration energy. And Ahernar is the alpha star of Alpha, it's Alpha Eridanus. Eridanus is the longest constellation in the sky. And actually, you won't see Eridanus from the northern sky because it's almost down at it's actually at the South Pole. The whole constellation sets out around Orion at the celestial equator and goes all the way down to the south. And Eridanus is the last star, the brightest star. And this represents the hero's journey who leaves its equilibrium and starts on a journey which is very, very difficult and long, but at the very end, you have your reward. You have the brightest energy that can be yours if you actually do the journey, make the journey, sorry. Okay, here's a harmonic triangle, also in the same chart. The harmonic triangles are made by a trine and two sextiles, and here you have Mercury, Vesta, and Eris, drastically altered outward circumstances are at the apex. And this harmony triangle suggests that no matter how really aggressive energies are out there at the moment, if you focus, Vesta, on your communication and also on your knowledge, then you can actually do something about drastically altered outward circumstances. I always say that astrology doesn't tell you what to do. It tells you what is out there, what sort of energy patterns are there at your disposal. And if you raise your energy, you are actually changing the outcome. And that's what astrology is good for. And that's why it is good to understand. And there are very special transcendental celestial objects in this particular harmony triangle. On the apex, on Aries, you see Seneca, Wisdom, and Clotho, one of the fates, the first one who is actually creating the thread of your life. On Mercury, I have Semele. She was the mother of the Dionysus. She burned to death, and Amenhotep, who is a pharaoh, and two beautiful stars, Salah Sud and Deneb Algadi. Deneb Algadi is Zeta Capricorn. It denotes steadiness and strength, and Salah Sud means the luckiest of the lucky people. So it's a great luck. It brings you luck. The two together is combined with a lot of strength and the ability to survive under all kinds of circumstances and feeling lucky at the same time. Out of the people, for instance, Jennifer Aniston has this double star on her. I mean, both stars on her sun. So you can look at her as an example of what these two stars can create. And on Vesta, you have 5 very bright stars. I'm going to show you first how they look like in the planetarium picture. Here are they. We are going to go back in a minute, but let's take a look at them separately. Capella, which is Alpha Auriga, is the third station of healing suicide. The very first one, fresh suicide victims are taken to Sheat. The second one is Alpharats, where they learn how to move freely. And on Alpharats, they learn actually to do things on their own. So this is where the soul is fully restored after a suicide, which is the greatest sin that you can commit in the third dimension, because you're effectively destroying the very vehicle that is carrying you in this 3D. Fourth is Alpha Columba, so it's the dove of peace. It would be nice. Okay. Mintaka, which is Delta Orion, which is one of the belt stars, effectively on the celestial equator, denoting divine order and divine balance. Elnat is Beta Taurus. All beta stars are the shadow energies of the constellation. Constellation Taurus denotes how you fight for your existence, how you create harmony and well-being on 3D. And Beta Taurus is Elnat is the shadow energy of this. And Bellatrix is also a shadow. It's the shadow of the Alpha star, although it's only the gamma. So it's the third brightest one, but still the two stars of Orion, the pair, the Alpha star, Betelgeuse, brings you success and actually unlimited success that is not hindered by anything. But Bellatrix gives you success by staying in the shadow. So that's the harmony triangle. And let's take a look again at the 5 stars. You have to understand that these are all around 22 degrees, 22 to 23 degrees Gemini, but as you can see, they are not on the ecliptic. So you can actually not say that they are conjunct something, or you can only say, and this is what Bernard Brady teaches us, you can say they are aligned. No, not one planet will ever be conjunct Vacht, for instance, which is way down to the south. And no, not one planet will be conjunct Capella because it's about 20, 30, almost 50 degrees, 48 degrees from the celestial equator. This is what you should remember when you look at the stars, and you can still utilize the stars energy. So it's simply because the horoscope is a two-dimensional version of this multi-diverse entity that we have around us. You should remember that stars are not a part of the solar system. They are out there in the universe, and they can be at very diverse positions in the sky. And if you use the word alignment and you only look at conjunctions in the longitude, then you can utilize them much better than if you think that anything can be really conjunct them. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.